good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Begin. The fruitless fight by La Republic colonial authorities in fighting ghost towns and the people of Amazonia have proven in different local government areas and to be futile, especially when it comes to Monday lockdowns. 6 years now and counting since the Monday lockdown was instituted by the interim government, Amazonians have never blinked in its observance. The true spirit, resilience, and sacrifice. Sacrifice being one of the principal words to changing one's status is something the peoples of Amazonia possess. The people of the former British Southern Cameroon have been enslaved for over 7 years now by the La République du Cameroon colonial government. This has been since the unholy union, the unholy coming together of the 1961 or for the people of the former British Southern Cameroon's Amazonia to change from this dominion position to their rightful place, a lot of pain, sadly, would have to ensue. Well, there is a lot going on the home front, especially the new saga in Bamenda that has the international eyes raised to it in only days. What could this be? Well, stay tuned for the full briefings of Undaunted tonight as we to see and we hope to have our news director Tapadi King and SOS Sylvester Zama give a little insight to some important highlights of our news briefings tonight, all of which coming up right after the prime headlines.
Right, here are the prime headlines for tonight. The standard of living is fast dropping in Amazonia due to the ongoing war. Tonight, on Undaunted, Sylvester Madu becomes latest victim of La Republic to Cameroon propaganda as he narrowly escapes death. Amazonia poised to sustain Monday lockdown as today counts another successful Monday lockdown. La Republic de Cameroon's PM Dion and Guterres traditional rulers to endorse genocide of the year for life presidency. On the African scene, Ghana has declared a 40 visa on arrival regime for visitors between the 1st of December to the 15th of January 2024. On the foreign scene, Russia faces logistical challenges employing cruise missiles. Now let's get the news in full detail. Well, despite the fruitless fight by La Republic of the Cameroon authorities in fighting ghost town, the people of Amazonia have proven in different government areas and counties that they are very much with the Monday lockdown. 5 years now and counting since the Monday lockdown was instituted. Amazonians have never blinked in observing the Monday lockdown. Different Law Republic to Cameroon colonial administrators have fought hard to see the people of Amazonia boycott the lockdown avail. Today, November 27, 2023 is another respected lockdown in Amazonia. For us, on today's Goes Down is a review of what the Colonial Divisional Officer for Mbengui, Gilda Lawrence, did to fight the man down, failed, and what is currently going through in Victoria, whereby the administrators are selling shops for those that fail to open their doors on Monday. The questions are, why are the surrogates to the BS regime investigating and investing so much in fighting Monday's lockdown? Since they started fighting, have they achieved their mission? Of course, the answers are no. This is where we begin the full briefings of Undaunted tonight. How are you doing, Steph?
Oh, very well, Onyi. Good evening, Ambazonians. Well, recently, the La République du Cameroon authorities have invested energy and finance to fight Monday ghost downs. As always, today on Monday, 27 November, Ambas have demonstrated a mark of resilience to the ghost down spirit. Gilda Lawrence sealed shops and placed a levy for shop owners to pay before their shops were reopened. He made it clear that he would continue sealing shops that fail to open their doors every Monday. The people of Obengui react by not complying with his financial demands for the shops to be reopened. Owners whose shops were not sealed decided not to open their doors on the other days. This put the colonial in a tight corner, and he had no other choice but to unseal shops, allowing the people to continue their respect for the Monday ghost downs. In the entire Atlantic zone, the senior divisional officer for that's the colonial officer for FACO and his collaborators fought tooth and nail to kill the spirit of the ghost town, but to no avail. Shop owners never yield to the pressure of their shops being sealed on Mondays. Today, November 27th, another Monday, Undaunted has visited the area with the colonial name Limbe to find out if the colonial administrators continue the sealing of shops today as they have done every other week. The observation for today's lockdown in Victoria is that shop owners did not open their shops as usual because they're observing the Monday lockdown. Colonial Republic administrators did not show up this time to seal the shops. I guess they're already giving up again.
Well, if you remember last Monday, shops were sealed in Tikoba, the colonial cancer, stormed the streets heavily guarded by terrorists, to Cameroon military. Shoppers were asked to pay 3,000 francs penalty to see shops open. All the sealed shops by the colonial administrators were later opened. It gathered that shops owners filled the pickets of the colonial administrators to have their shops open. So Monday goes down spirit alive. All the shops were still closed today. The take-home message for this is very clear. Well, Undaunted is that shop owners of Amazonia are people of and have not succumbed to the pressure from administrators as they never open their shops today. Well, still considering that, we have an audio here by Dr. Martin Mungwa. He has something very important, a strong message for us all here. Let's take a listen.
alert, alert. This is Dr. Martin Mungwa, Secretary of State for Communication and IT for the interim government. Today is Sunday, November 26, 2023. Dear Ambazonians, dear ARF, I come for una today because the information I give una it be crucial. It be extremely crucial, and everybody for listening to me. As I been telling you last week, La Republique du Cameroon, it be take boys them all over Amazonia, especially people for DD and picking the way they not be get work, they take the same, they go train them, minimum security guards for banks and other institutions. I want for bring una this information because tomorrow, Monday, Ghost Town Day, we now will see hellfire. La Republique du Cameroon, it be pick up hundreds of picking them. And exactly 39 come off for Bamenda. We get all their names. 39 picking them when they add them for the other 100, bring them for all over Amazonia, and of course, including La Republique du Cameroon soldiers. They take Kutaba, train them for become special forces. They work for these forces. It be for up ghost towns. Now they are that mean they disrupt ghost towns. So on ghost tomorrow, when I remember they don't give orders for schools then when they reopen on Mondays. Maybe on Monday. Now their plan is they go for these towns, whether in a Midland, whether in a Savannah. Don't begin the when they go school. They'll go for any people they walk around, they will kill them. For tell the international community, say ARF they revenge because people they ghost town. I make them very, very clear. And I want for remind that quarter head when they kill him from Kwe. Now one of these boys they do one. I also want for remind una say in addition for this ghost town disruption, they will go for churches, go for marriages, even go for cry kill people then at random. Any place where people gather, when I'm for bar or they hear any noise where they come from some place, they can't kill them. This one at the bloody Monday where you'll start tomorrow going forward. And I make this very clear because this thing, bloodbath way, La Republique to bring up for Amazonia. If it start for Manfe, you'll say not be enough. All those schools that when they do open for Atlantic, for Midland, they will get a rude awakening because they don't decide for go for school for Ghost Town Day. Whether not teachers, whether not professors, whether not picking them. All towns from Amazonia, when I will hear this thing what they tell when I so you will happen. And for Yahweh, I want stop. And I want to tell everybody I'm gonna be vigilant. Tomorrow, Monday, they want to create a bloodbath for Amazonia. And when I watch it moving forward, this one, now their modus operandi. Now that's suicide way they don't put a no, La Republique no. Say this war, it don't be lost. Forewarned, armed. I will give or take any private precautions there for make sure say all these things what they do, they no go free. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Well, next to Indian County, where we have known that is a home for big names such as La Republique du Cameroon, the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, that's OC Joshua, La Republique du Cameroon Center Governor, and late Otto Wilson, a former La Republique du Cameroon's SDU, and others who are lacking good road network linking it to the rest of the world. Now, those familiar with the Kumbai Kondotiti Road can confirm it's hell during the rainy season when Indian County is arguably one of the richest regions in the southern Cameroon and in the Gulf of Guinea in terms of natural resources. Yet, its indigents are too backwards in terms of development, having been brainwashed by the corrupt Yaoundé junta. Now, if the Bulu Paz brokers that have been on La Republique Cameroon's dining table for over 4 decades perform funerals for Kamchu, who want sick brother's place, of what use is a bona fide Southern Cameroonian Amazonian like Nguche, who has not only resources but has his own being killed day and night by the Bulus to go corrupt his kids and kin, still in the morning attires to go dozen failed presidency for life.
Well, at this point, the CPDM could pass for a cult because all its adherents seem to have sold their consciences. Paul Biya can be useful as at now only his ancestors who have been beckoning on him to come for long. He has no relevance in the land that he's desecrated beyond bounds for over 4 the lands that he has brought war on. In his Ngute pays gullible CPDM so-called journalists to blow the non-event out of proportion. Their media outfits like this captions front page of one of their municipal updates says, for numerous projects in Indian, go salute Bia, declare unwavering support. Well, our republic is actually a country of paradoxes, as you would have observed, and these headlines should only provoke positive thinkers in an enclave county like Indiana with no roads to are the numerous projects realized only in their minds. The road linking Indiana and Mimi counties is seasonal because colonial La Republique has only been interested in tapping the rich soil with no regards to infrastructure there.
Not just that, the monies from Yaoundé will make gullible media to write misleading captions. And so the so-called CPDM elite sponsoring journalists to write certain unheard of captions, even go to Indian, especially in season. You wouldn't even be able to pass. Well, this report we've brought to you on a regular basis, just like the pictures you're seeing. Fortune African oil and gas platform estimated that 89% of Cameroon's oil can be found in the offshore of Rio del Rey Basin, Indian County in the Atlantic zone. So you can see a county with 89% of Cameroon's oil providing a huge capital and life basket of the regime, yet remained hugely developed and underrepresented. These are some of the current issues which advance the cry of yes for outright independence. Sad enough, Indian County as a whole remains a land of discovery, a land of promise, a land of glory with abundant natural resources. All attributes are likened to this county of Eden. Well, itself could be a dwelling place for the god of Amazonia. Indiana itself harbors palm oil plantation, the rich oil and fish Bakassi Peninsula, and the world-class crop biodiversity reserve. But because of the La Republic de Cameroon ego, it is in Milton's paradise. It is now left for the sons and daughters of the division to take the bull by the horn and strike the iron now that it is very sharp and very hot by drafting more than ever for freedom.
Well, sacrifice is the principal motivational word when it comes to changing one's status. The people of the former British Southern Cameroon have been enslaved for 7 years now by the La République du Cameroon's colonial government. This has been since the Unholy Union came together in 1961 and when they did their first protest. Well, for the people of the former British Southern Cameroon's Amazonia, change from the meaning position to a meaningful, a rightful place, a lot of pain, unfortunately, would have to ensue before the freedom of Amazonia. One of the negative effects of the Amazonian decolonization war, one declared on Amazonians by Paul Biya, is the hike in the price of foodstuff. That forces households to adjust to strengthen dispositions. Farm to market roads have been blocked, hampering the free flow of foodstuffs from the farms to the market. To blackmail the Amazonian forces, illegal groups like some proxy group of La Republic du Cameroon, like that of Amazonian Defense Forces, have blocked some roads linking localities just to punish the population.
Now, living in households not the same as before 2016 in Amazonia owing to the ongoing war. Many homes in Amazonia have adjusted their eating to cope with the reality on ground. Undaunted on Saturday paid a visit to the Bamenda food and realized that there is a gap in prices of foodstuff before quagmire and now. The price of sweet potatoes before the war was considered as food reserved for dogs, while it is today as a result of the ongoing war for the blessed. 1,000 francs before 16, and now it is 2,500 francs. Of course, the war has cost that. The price of a bucket of corn today is 5,000 francs. Before the ongoing war, the price was 2,000 francs. The price has skyrocketed out of the war, but most interestingly, it's just like the case in the Bible, as stipulated by the scriptures, because of the glory that was before him, he endured the cross. The people of Ambazonia, seeing the bitterness ahead of them after the breakup of the Republic of Cameroon, have accepted these hikes because they are ready for independence and they know that this price they must pay.
Well, on to this next report. Despite claims of resuming normalcy by the government of La République du Cameroon and a concerted effort by pro-Franco-Cameroonian media to minimize the severity of the conflict in Bamenda, grim realities persist. Bamenda, also known as Abakwa, remains a hotbed of conflict. Recent events stretching across Amazonia from Bui to Ngwaketunja, Mamfe to Kumba, Oyo to paint a picture that dates markedly from any semblance of peace. The colonial administration, alongside its benefactors and agents, continued to engage in a propaganda battle aimed at skewing both media portrayal and international perception concerning the conditions on the ground amidst the ongoing conflict. Notably, the revered Nigerian actor Sylvester Madu, popularly known as Jambo, has recently been entangled in this mesh of misinformation. There are reports that the acclaimed actor narrowly escaped death when gunmen reportedly stormed a movie set in the Cameroon's Amazonia. Well, it is reported that Madu arrived in Bamenda for the very first time on November 3rd, 2023, to participate in a film titled Despite prior warnings to the film producers to halt the project, we've seen footages of committed Madu confirming his involvement in the United States and receiving a warm welcome in Bamenda. His fans' excitement was evident, for they were overjoyed at the arrival of this talented actor in the footage at the town's main gate. Now, let's observe.
Well, the images you are seeing a picture of Sylvester Madu as highly esteemed, an impression which tragically would not last. Merely 2 days later, on Saturday, November 25th, around 10 p.m., unidentified gunmen attacked a local hunt where Madu and others had congregated. The assault precipitated pandemonium among those present. We later learned that these violent engagements resulted in the loss of 4 individuals, with over 10 others sustaining serious injuries. Miraculously, Sylvester Madu emerged unscratched, a fortune owing to the timely intervention of the French Cameroon's colonial police rapid team. A statement from the film company responsible for bringing Sylvester Madu to Cameroon substantiated the appealing ordeal. They elaborated on the purpose of Madu's visit, stating that Damafield received Sylvester Madu, who is a Nollywood actor who is also known as Shana Rambo, on Thursday, November 23rd, 2023, Bamenda for a movie advertising. Well, details about the advocacy could be included towards the end of the film shoot. Madu invited to make a guest appearance at Big G VIP located at Mount Inquim, where the unfortunate incident transpired.
Well, as the community gathered for the snooker championship organized by Big G, the excitement was palpable. Talking from the cinema, which was the first The event began at 3 p.m. with the drive-in energy of enthusiastic fans swarmed in, eager for glimpses and interaction with the well-loved Nollywood actor Sylvester Madu, as you saw from that video. Yet the vibrant atmosphere took a sharp, tragic turn when, just after 10 p.m., the sound of gunshots erupted from outside. Panic ensued, sending the crowd into a scramble that sadly resulted in the loss of 4 civilians and left 10 wounded. While swift police action followed, with officers stepping in to secure Madu's safety and to crowd under control. In the aftermath, a sense of community solidarity emerged. From midnight onwards, Good Samaritans assisted transporting the injured to PMI in Queen and regional hospitals where they are receiving care.
This Nigerian actor almost lost his life in Bamenda, Cameroon, following an attack by some unknown armed men. 3 people lost their lives and 8 others in the hospital, struggling to see whether they are going to remain in this planet Cameroon or they will continue the journey and meet their ancestors Abraham. This is what happened. Some filmmakers in Cameroon contacted this Nigerian actor Sylvester Madu, aka Rambo, to come and be part of a movie project that they are calling it that Bakwa. Sylvester Madu are present and confirmed it in this video.
Hello, Cameroon. This is Sylvester Madu, aka Mr. Rambo.
Continue.
Abakwa, Bamenda. Yeah, you know what's going on? I'll be live this November in Cameroon, Bamenda, for the movie shoot titled Abakwa.
After that video, he took his plane and landed in Nigeria because he did that video when he was brought. After landing in Nigeria,
TV.com/donate, ABC Amber TV payment channels, Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call +124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate, ABC Amber TV payment channels, Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call +124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate, ABC Amber TV payment channels, Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call +124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate, ABC Amber TV payment channels, Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call +124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate, ABC Amber TV payment channels, Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal donations at abcambertv.com. For more details, call plus 124 028 43 111. You can email us at info@abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abc.
Fellow Ambazonians, if you are in the United States of America, I just want to wish you happy Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving Day. It all started in 1621. It was celebrated by 90 Americans, Native Americans, and they did that for 3 days. They just decided to come together to appreciate God or the land for the harvest. And since then, it has now become a national holiday, and it has maintained its character. At least we start celebrating it today. I can tell you throughout the weekend, up until Sunday, we will be celebrating. Today is a national holiday for the people of America, and all religions, though this is not a religious holiday, all religions have at least one form of thanksgiving or the other. Even the African religions, we thank God, we thank the God of whoever we call God. We thank Him the time like this. It's a time for us to celebrate achievement. It's a time for us to celebrate our values, our successes, our endowments, our lives, even just for being alive. That which God has given us that we appreciate. That is what we celebrate yearly. And I thank the nation of America for making it a national holiday. I consider this, and we should, as Ambazonians, consider this day for reflection. Even if you are not in the United States of America, consider this as a day to sit and reflect while you are celebrating this or that. There are few and there are many in certain circumstances, especially in Ambazonia, who have very little to celebrate, especially because of what they have been deprived of, what they have been denied of, their freedom, even their livelihood, their lives, their family, everything they were proud of. It's a time for us to remember beyond our personal achievements, especially in the United States. Let us think about those who have very little to celebrate, who have very little to give thanks for. And let us extend out of what God has done for us some mercies, some graces towards them. Let us extend our generosity. Let us take out of our table, out of our abundance that we celebrate, something towards those that have little. That's the best way to do this. Cut a portion of your turkey, whatever that represents, and make sure that you remember our Ambazonian restoration forces who are dying in the trenches for the freedom that they have been denied. And they are asking, when will this be over, so that they can thank God. Remember able-bodied Ambazonians, people of integrity and character, who have been incarcerated, and today they don't know when this will end. Think about them. Think about our children, our mothers, our people in their hundreds of thousands who are refugees spread across the world, in dungeons, hungry, with wounds, sick. Please, let's use this moment to reflect. You see, the word thanksgiving has two components, thanks and giving. And I was thinking about how to present this. It's like a cross. It's like a cross. It's a cross or a plus sign. That means there is the vertical and the horizontal. The vertical sign indicates that we should thank God, or the creator, or the giver of all things. And the horizontal is we must express our thanks also to the one on our left and the one on our right. Yes, that means to one another. Let's express this to one another. Let's express our thanksgiving. We give thanks to God, and we show love to our fellow man. Let us do this at this time. You can go to the ABC Ambazonia ABC Club and donate. You can go to our AID, where we are able to collect a few dollars. Take part of your dish today. Take part of your sacrifices and your purchases. Some people are doing impulse purchases today, and you don't forget the essential. Take out of that abundance. Go to AID, our AID platform, and donate something that will reach those who have very little to celebrate. That's my short message. I encourage you to spread this message to everyone, whether you are in the Americas or not. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. Whatever I told you, I've already done it. God bless you. Dear people of Brazil, beloved Africans of the diaspora, fellow activists and intellectuals, let me recognize the Reverend Sergio Melo and the Azusa Institute team for inviting me to this important conference. Thank you, Brazil, for your interest in the conflict and sufferings of the annexed people of southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, a former autonomous UN Trust territory in West Africa. My name is Samuel Ikome Sako, the head of the revolutionary government of Ambazonia. It is characteristic of revolutionary politics for the enemy, in our case it is the government of Cameroon and France, to sponsor individual spoilers and splinters to diminish the strength of their opponent, and in our case attempt to obfuscate the fact that this conflict involves two different people and two different countries. There are lots of fake websites, misinformation, and fake groups online bankrolled by the Yaoundé and French agents just to counter our efforts, cover the truth, and undermine the legitimate authority over the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. However, True leadership in a liberation context like ours is not by title only. It is by legitimacy. And legitimacy has to do with the following and support a leader enjoys amongst his people. In this regard, I can tell you unequivocally that I am the most consequential leader of the annexed people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia since 2018. And our website is www.statehouseboya.org. According to the Norwegian Refugee Council, Cameroon, and in this case it has to do with Ambazonia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Burkina Faso, as of 2020, are the most neglected displacement crisis in the world. More than 50,000 civilians have been killed, and this is more than the Ukraine, Russia, and Israel-Hamas wars combined. About 5,000 of our people are incarcerated without trial by French Cameroon in their dungeons. More than 1.6 million internally displaced, and over 300,000 refugees in Nigeria, Ghana, Cyprus, and around the world. What's going on in Ambazonia is horrendous. It is ethnic cleansing. It is genocide. It's a humanitarian catastrophe and the worst abuse of human rights in modern times by the state of Cameroon. Some history. The Republic of Cameroon was granted independence on January 1st, 1960. Nigeria, our borders, our neighbors to the west, had their own independence granted on the 1st of October 1960. When it came to our turn in 1961, the post-World War II Cold War order decided that the southern Cameroon Ambazonia be granted independence by joining either French Cameroon, independent French Cameroon, or independent Nigeria, even though we opted overwhelmingly for a standalone independence. We had our government, a head of state, a bicameral parliament, a functional judiciary, a police force, and functional institutions of state, departments of state. Britain told the United Nations then that we were too little and too poor to stand alone. But in reality, they feared we could fall into the hands of communist ideologues like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. We voted following their options to obtain independence by joining the French Cameroon in a federation of two states of equal status. The United Nations passed Resolution 1608 prescribing the process of joining the two countries to form a new country to be called the Federal Republic of the Cameroons. According to the Charter of the United Nations 102, such a union of necessity requires that both states sign a union treaty and deposit same at the United Nations. Only then can their individual borders be dissolved to form new borders for the new nation. Unfortunately, while our leaders were contemplating a union of equals, as mandated by the United Nations, the French Cameroon government, under the influence of the French, were bracing for annexation. So what was supposed to be our walk into freedom marked the beginning of our annexation and recolonization by the French proxy state of Cameroon. They refused to sign the Treaty of Union with us. They dissolved our government and parliament. They banished our institutions. And 11 years down the road, they fraudulently ended the United Nations mandated federation. Since 1961, the Cameroon regime instituted a system of apartheid, carrying out assassinations, incarceration, enforced disappearances, intimidations, exploitation, oppression, and systematic assimilation of our people of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia just to subdue us. They quickly realized that 80% of petroleum resources are in our land, and that Ambazonia accounted for 60 to 70% of the GDP of the Cameroon colonial state, even though we are only 20%, as they say, of the population of the colonial state. In 2016, Southern Cameroon's civil society all came together to request that the country either return to its original federation of two states of equal status, or we both go our separate ways. All hell break loose as the French proxy state was advised by France to declare war on us. Since then, Cameroon soldiers target and massacre our babies, our children, our women, our young boys in Ambazonia. They are doing so daily with machine guns, with bombs, with helicopter gunships. French Cameroon has withdrawn from all international attempts at mediation, whether in Switzerland or somewhere in Canada, preferring the military option to resolving a political issue. We are working hard to push the United States government, willing nations, including Brazil, and the African diaspora at large, to go beyond the inertia of mere statements of condemnation and force the bloody regime of Yaoundé to meet Ambazonia on the table to address the root causes of this war. We also need help to defend our people from being massacred by French in this proxy war of theirs, just for demanding our right to self-determination. And it is our right. Thank you very much for having me, and God bless you.
All right, you're welcome back. Well, onto this very trending report that we already brought to you, into it deeper by debunking certain facts here. Despite claims of resuming normalcy, the government of La République du Cameroon and a effort by a pro-Franco-Cameroonian media to minimize the severity of the conflict in Ambazonia, grim realities to persist. The city of Bamenda, known as Abakwa, remains a hotbed of conflict. Recent events stretch Ambazonia from Bukitunja, Mamfe to Kumba, and Boyo to Momo paint a picture that deviates markedly from any semblance. The administration, alongside factors and agents, to engage in a propaganda battle aimed at skewing both media portrayal and international perception concerning the conditions on the ground amidst the ongoing conflict. Notably, the third Nigerian actor, Sylvester Madu, popularly known as China Rambo, has recently been entangled in this mesh of misinformation. There are reports that the acclaimed actor narrowly escaped death when gunmen reportedly stormed a movie in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Well, it is reported that Madu arrived in Bamenda for the very first time on 23rd, 2023, to participate in a movie titled Abakwa. Well, despite prior warnings to the film producers to halt the project, footage of a committed Madu confirming his involvement in the United States receiving a warm welcome. And excitement was they were overjoyed at the arrival of the talent. Captured this footage at the town's main gate. Let us take a look.
Yes, sir.
Via Bamenda.
Yeah.
So I'll see you guys in a few. Okay? This is my journey to Cameroon. The first time in Cameroon. And this about thank you guys.
Well, the images you just saw conveys a picture of Sylvester Madu as highly esteemed, an impression which tragically would not last. Merely 2 days later, in November, around 10 p.m., all gunmen attacked where Madu and others had congregated. The assault precipitated pandemonium among those present. Well, we later learned that these engagement resulted in the loss of individuals with over 10 other serious injury. Miraculously, Sylvester emerged unscratched, a fortune owed to the timely intervention of the French colonial police response team. A statement from the film company responsible for bringing Sylvester Madu to Cameroon started the appalling ordeal. They elaborated on the purpose of Madu's visit, stating, and I quote, Dams received wood actor Sylvester, aka Rambo, on Thursday, November 23rd, in Bamenda for advocating for drugs. Now, according to the report, towards the end of the film shoot, Madu invited to appearance at Big G VIP located at Mile 3 in Queen, where it transpired.
Oh, well, as the community gathered for the snooker championship organized by Big Hay, the excitement was palpable, tucked away from which was the first draw. The event began at 3 p.m. with the drive-in energy of enthusiasm. Fans swarmed in, eager for a glimpse and interaction with the well-loved Nollywood Sylvester Madu. The atmosphere took a sharp, tragic turn when, just after 10, the sound of erupted from outside. Pursued, sending the crowd into a very chaotic scramble that sadly resulted in the loss of 4 civilians and left over 10 wounded. Swift police actions with officers stepping in to secure Mati and to bring them under control. In the aftermath, sense of community solidarity from midnight onwards, Good Samaritans assisted transporting the injured to PMI in Queen Hospital, where they are currently care.
Well, in recent incident, the police have initiated an investigation of the police of Sylvester Madu's protection and facilitated his safe return. This raises a question: where were these authorities prior to the attack? It seems even well forces are unable to provide great security amid the war. These Stephen requires potentially have with more stringent safety measures. It would appear that certain actions, possibly to diminish the gravity of the Amazonians, played a part in the oversight. The event organizers must reassess their decision making, petitioning a foreign figure like Sylvester Madu in potential radius context during a night.
Well, it's imperative to recognize that incident occurred only days enablers and apology manufacturers, supporters of colonial administration held another and so-called international music festival in Bo. The absence of an attack during that festival did not negate the presence of an ongoing war. It's a stark reminder for the civilians to be increasingly vigilant, them to adopt precautions to circumvent becoming inadvertent casualties caught in this crossfire. Well, tonight, like we told, we have our news director with us, who's certainly going to delve into this topic deeper and point of view. So, SOS or SOS Sylvester as well to take us through this particular report.
Yes, hello, Star Smart. Thank you for having me to join you in this conversation that we have this evening. Um, we've seen the situation that is happening on the ground. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Mr. Tao, the situation on ground is quite alarming, and it has driven war going on. At least the world knows. Now that with the dogs outfits are trying to pin on what they think are they're trying to tag the separatists. They're not trying to pinpoint there is war. They're trying to ignore that fact. There are unknown gunmen trying authorities, sure that somehow they might even one of the ARFs today. What would be your say?
Yeah, what really interests me in this saga that happened in Bamenda, in fact, when we were live on Saturday, we actually received updates of this report that they were shooting around that area, and it would appear perhaps that there could have been a crossfire between the colonial talks and the Amazonian Restoration Forces, or anyone could have been there. But this is what is my concern. Sylvester Madu could have been more diligent than he just did. I'm quite concerned because he is a brother in Christ that I know personally. I think that Sylvester Madu should have done his personal investigations very closely to have made a determination before leaving the United States to Nigeria and then to the Cameroons to come and do a movie in the hope of the ongoing war in southern Cameroons. But this brings me to one thing that is sure. Cameroon has been trying for so long to tell the world that there is no mercy. After observing more than 20 civilians dying only within a week, we saw what happened in Gokutunja, what happened in Bui, what happened somewhere in Kumba, and what I'm not talking about the Egbeko massacre. I'm talking about what has happened in just other places after the Egbeko massacre. Civilians are dying every day in the Cameroons, every day. But Cameroon, or La République du Cameroon, wants the world to believe that normalcy is returning and they are able to contain the situation. Here is my advice to those who are watching us in Bamenda, in Boya, in Kiliwindi, in Mamfe, in Kumba, is you have to be wise. For the past 7 years since the unfortunate war, it's clear that the colonial armed forces cannot protect you. The only reason you are alive today probably is because of God, or because the Amazonian Restoration Forces do not deem it that you are a target. And this is what is tricky. The tricky part of it all is that you who is trying to aid or assist the colonial government to execute their activities on the ground, you are literally positioning yourself as a military target. The Amazonian Restoration Forces will target you, and the French Cameroon military or army will also target you. We've seen that in different places where they will target you because they know they have used you. They will target you and they will blame it on the Amazonian Restoration Forces because they want to sabotage the Amazonian Restoration Forces globally. So be wise. Stay out of it. Avoid engaging in provocative activities. For no reason should you be promoting the green, red, yellow by any shape or form within the sovereign territory of the former British Southern Cameroons, today Amazonia. That is provocative. There is war. I want you to ask yourself a question. Can you go to Baghdad, to Hamas, to Israel, to Ukraine as we speak to freely do a movie? The Nollywood actor Sylvester Madu, who is a Brethren in Christ Embassy, I've met with him a couple of times and we've had a conversation about movies, should have been wise enough to make inquiries. At least he should have consulted the church in Cameroon to know if it was a wise decision. I'm not sure that he consulted the church in Bamenda or in the Cameroons, they would have advised him not to enter Bamenda to do a movie. And like you girls have rightfully reported, he was advised, or not him, the film industry was advised not to do this movie in Bamenda. That is quite unfortunate that they would have to do that. Okay.
Oh, also, Mr. You made a post in regards to this particular incident. That your post said something which is actually factual. Quote, Anglo-bloggers fail to acknowledge in their complicity through their style in the face of French Cameroon's on monstrosity against the loving peoples Amazonia. They have their point of view in this particular incident, which of course is not doing justice to the entirety. So to these particular situation, in your own words of bloggers, would like you to analyze that particular scenario in this particular.
Yeah, this is quite unfortunate. I think I understand Pastor Sam is trying to restart probably his machine. So I will take over the screen to continue the conversation so that he can do it. Yes, I made a post yesterday when the situation was getting serious in Bamenda, and the post I made, or media rhetoric, was trying to misinform people about what is happening. The purpose of my post was to target the media, and I think I'm still going to make another comment in this delight to tackle other issues, other elements, or those who are also aiding and abetting Cameroon's propaganda in Amazonia. It is really unfortunate to have so-called Anglophone bloggers, journalists, media personalities, influencers, ignoring the situation that is happening in their own homeland. I esteem that to be some form of a betrayal. Next him is a blogger that was hailing from Boya. I think he's a son from Bui, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think he's from Manu. He's a Manu born. This guy did not report about the massacre in Egbeko. Not because he was not aware of it, but because he knew that the Cameroon military, the fingerprints of the Cameroon military was everywhere. He didn't report it. Mimi Mefo for the first time said unknown gunmen, because they also knew that the Amazonian Restoration Forces did not extract and kill 50 people in Egbeko. For Hansen, that grew up in Gomgam, in Bamenda, had the audacity to accuse the Amazonian Restoration Forces without investigation. These guys, for egotic reasons, for personal reasons, for selfish reasons, have opted to do what pleases them, not what is of the common good of the people of Amazonia. That is how unfortunate we find ourselves. So you see, there's a few days ago, there was a so-called Cameroon International Music Festival that took place in Boya. Agbo Gibet, the guy who calls himself today Prince, Agbo Gibet, a boat, I know he's the mastermind behind that project. Our intelligence has it that they are planning to do it in different parts so that they can raise money for the refugees. What a paradox. Who are the refugees that they are planning to help? It's a major concern. So you see, there's a criminal network, and Cameroon knows how to do it. It's all about dividing to conquer. He takes a few greedy Southern Cameroonians, some of them who call themselves bloggers, some of them with political interests like Gilbert, a boat. And this is coming from the Prime Minister John Gute's office. Today you have the Cameroon government facilitating and funding activities as such. I have been in that country and I've worked in various in sectors, including cultures. In fact, the Ministry of Culture in the Cameroons recognizes me as what they call promoteur culturel. I have a certificate given to me by the Ministry of Culture as promoteur culturel. If I have to do a word verbatim translation to that, it means a promoter or a cultural promoter, which means I have been involved in organizing festivities. It has always been a challenge for Anglophones or Southern Cameroonians to have projects that are being patronized by the government to be financed. Today, as the war is ongoing, this procedure and projects have just been facilitated. You have them doing movies. You have the government facilitating their travels globally because they want to give them some form of hope and to turn them against our genuine quest. There's also I want to just tackle something here and maybe conclude on this conversation so you guys can continue with the news. There is a slickish side of this story. It's about those who want to employ their narrow understanding of democracy to take the position that they have taken or make the choices that they are making today. You have those who say it is part of their right to choose what they want to do. You're correct. But you would agree with me that even Yaoundé will not tolerate you to choose anything that is against Yaoundé's interest. And so Southern Cameroons will not spare you. This is an advice. If you want to take it as a warning, so be it. Southern Cameroons will not spare you for taking a position that is in contravention of our historicity and legality. If you think that this freedom question is a wrong move, you cannot just think from emotional perspective. You must argue with us from a legal perspective. The fight is legal. The fight is historical. Southern Cameroon was betrayed as the root cause of the problem. We are saying that our claims are legal. So if you have constituted yourself or positioned yourself to fight against this legally ordained and God-ordained movement, I would like to make you know that you would have made yourself a military target. You will be wiped out either by the Amazonian Restoration Forces or the Cameroon military. And if you before you go and start thinking that God is going to punish somebody who would have erased you from the earth, your life would have been wasted. Be wise. Take yourself, be diligent enough, be humble enough to investigate who is on the side of the truth. And if you think that Southern Cameroonians or those who are advocating for the total freedom of Southern Cameroons are wrong, bring forth your argument. Present it. But we are saying that UN Resolution 1608, subsection Article 5, clearly states that the Southern Cameroons, today Amazonia, is a sovereign state. All we're requesting is for Cameroon to meet us on a negotiation table. And this generation has gone past the time when we will be dictated upon by any man born of woman. The conversation will take place. By now, you should have known that the manipulation on the media by Cameroon proxy media cannot change the resolve of a generation that has been highly emancipated. So, There are a lot of Dr. Mungwa. You just had the audio of Dr. Mungwa. Cameroon will push you forward to do these things, and then they will kill you. For those of you who participated or did whatever you did in Boya, that you call a festival, that you were not attacked, doesn't mean that the war has ended. I'm advising that you avoid being a part of such activities, because you'll be wiped out anytime you are found promoting the green, red, yellow in Ambazonia. You'll be wiped out because you will tell us that you're an enemy. If you have chosen the side of La République du Cameroon, fine and good. You could simply go to Yaoundé and Douala and live there. No nation on earth. Listen, the Southern Cameroon is a sovereign territory recognized under international law, if you are not aware. So nowhere in the world will any country permit you to come and defy their integrity and their sovereignty. Any activity sponsored by Yaoundé in Ambazonia is a defiance of our integrity. It is not just an abuse. It is not just disrespect or provocation. You are telling us that you are a military target. And this is war when the bullets are speaking. So my advice is for this foolishness to be halted. Thank you very much, Undaunted, for giving me this much time. I'd like you all to continue with your news.
African Report.
On the African scene, a lot is happening in West Africa. In Ghana, Ghana has declared a 46-day visa on arrival regime for visitors between December 1st, 2023 to January 15th, 2024. The move is part of the Ghana government's 10-year Beyond the Return campaign, trying to encourage Africans in the diaspora to explore and reconnect with Ghana. The move aligns of positioning Ghana as a premier destination for those of African descent. As at 7th October 2023, we had just 5 African countries, Seychelles, Mozambique, Rwanda, Comoros, and Madagascar, with a visa-free, visa on arrival for Africans. And now Ghana has just making it 6 African countries on the path to fostering intercontinental relations.
Meanwhile, in Sierra Leone, a security breach identified attackers at a military armory in the capital, Freetown, had some prisoners abducted. Well, this as announced by Sierra Leone's Minister of Information and Civic Education, Channel Bar, and sparked armed clashes in Sunday. In order to gain full control, authorities in the English-speaking West African country, which has been going its crisis following the elections in June this year, declared a war and national curfew until further notice, hopefully putting Sierra Leone's government back in full control by the late hours of Sunday.
While turning our attention to Central Africa, Chad campaigning Saturday for a vote on a new constitution in a perceived test of legitimacy for the ruling junta and the Itno dynasty's 30-year reign. Transitional President General Mahadebi Itno, whose junta has governed since 2021, had promised to hand power to civilians and hold elections this year before postponing that 2024. More than 8.3 million people in the vast but poor Sahel country were called on to vote in a referendum slated for December 17th in a key step towards and establishing civilian rule. But the opposition and political scientists are skeptical, as they suspect the ballot is already set to be about maintaining Itno and his family's over 3 decades dynasty rule, Well, while Prime Minister Salel Zazo, the pro-junta Yes Coalition's campaign chairman, encouraged supporters to propagate the values of a highly centralized military unitary state. Supporters of a federal urging voters to reject this text by voting no. In the game of politics, it is all about interest, either the interest of those in power or the interest of the nation, or noble, the interest of the common man, which sadly is hardly the case for those in the game. Well, let's look forward to 17th December referendum and post-referendum to see how.
And heading straight to East Africa, Madagascar, Rajolina, re-elected president in pool boycotted by opposition. Madagascar's President Andre Rajoelina has won re-election in the first round of a ballot boycotted by all opposition in the Indian Ocean island nation. The election is on Saturday. Rajoelina won 58.95% of the votes cast in the special election. Well, according to the results presented by the pool board, needs to be validated by the Constitutional Court. Turnout was just over 46%, down on the previous presidential election in 2018, which the Election Commission blamed on ambient political climate and manipulation of opinion. What's interesting here is although from reports Rajoelina won, his opposition are similarly perplexed as per his supposed victory. What results? What elections opposition response to a request for comment on Rajoelina's victory?
And in North Africa, Morocco, Casablanca, on Sunday, calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza and for an end to diplomatic relations. Tens of thousands have lined the streets of Casablanca waving Palestinian flags and wearing the distinctive black and white keffiyeh scarves. Protesters called for an end to relations Morocco and Israel after their normalization in 2020 as part of a between Israel countries.
Right, news across the globe. Let's start with the issue of drone for military use. Now, amidst the ongoing campaign, Russia is taking active step to multiply drone production and capabilities. With Medvedev, deputy chairman of the Security Council, spearheading discussions at the Federal Center for Unmanned Aircraft System. This system, nestled in the Rude Naval Industrial Park, stands out as a hub with comprehensive provision for advancing drone development and personnel training to meet the demands of modern warfare. The convergence of state officials and industry executives highlighted Medvedev's work with drones underscore the significance of unmanned vehicles in the theater of military operation. His tour through the assembly lines offered glimpse into the potential ramping up of a specific drone model, believed by experts to be the BAS-200 variant. Such strategic movements reinforce the critical role that drone technology plays in military strategy and effectiveness. Now, let's see a video of this.
Launches its most intense drone attack on Ukraine since the invasion began, shattering homes, cars, leaving many picking up the pieces and fearful of what's next. They destroyed my balcony and my kitchen, this woman cries. I don't know what I'll do. This woman says the sound of an engine overhead. A second later, a blast came, the door was smashed and a wall, It literally flew above our heads. At least 5 people were wounded, including an 11-year-old child, in the assault that was for over 6 hours. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemning the attacks during a ceremony marking the 90th anniversary of Holodomor, a famine that millions of Ukrainians. Evil was not stopped, not atoned for, he says, and now we are stopping it. As another winter drove in on Ukraine, neither side is backing down, and that's being felt here in Canada.
Well, thanks to National Global, we got the coverage of that particular video right there. And continuing with the reports on the global scene, Israel's truce enters the fourth day to reaches Gaza. Truce between Hamas and Israel enters its fourth and potentially final day today, Monday. Over the first 3 days of the truce, Hamas has released a total of 58 hostages, primarily women and children, in exchange for the release of 117 Palestinian prisoners. U.S. President Joe Biden said that the truce was in fighting, allowing more hostages to be released and aid to reach Gaza. Both Hamas and Israel have discussed the possibility. Under the terms of the original truce agreement, Hamas needs to release an additional 10 hostages for each additional day's pause in the fighting.
Under the brokered and sustained, though intensive U.S. diplomacy, safely in Israel, and we continue to press and expect for additional Americans will be released as well. Not stop working until every hostage is returned to their loved one.
Meanwhile, Russia is facing logistical challenges in employing cruise missiles. Now, the UK Ministry of Defense has suggested that Russia's Black Sea Fleet, the BSF, logistical challenges in the port city of Novorossiysk have affected the ability to launch cruise missiles towards Ukraine. Analysts say the Russian BSF has typically reloaded in cruise missiles in the city of Sevastopol, Russian-occupied Crimea, but with a growing threat of Ukrainian strikes there, Russia is likely to consider Novorossiysk as the best alternative location for relocation. However, the UK MOD noted that moving and reloading missiles would require new storage management and loading processes.
Oh well, chaotic scenes in the Red Sea as Israeli-linked ships are targeted. In chaotic scenes not seen since the 2011 peak of the Horn of Africa piracy crisis, global merchant shipping weekend of terror wrought by Houthis, Iranians, and the re-emergence of pirates off Somalia. At the center of all attacks have been ships with links to Israel, and the incidents of the past hours follow on from the capture of a ship of 25 belonging to Ray car carriers by Houthi militants 8 days ago. The CMA CGM 15,264 tube box ship controlled by Eden off Eastern Pacific was hit by a suspected Iranian drone in the Indian Ocean on Friday morning.
And on the other, is concerned about El Shifa, who is been detained by Israel. While the WHO, the World Health Organization, has expressed concern about the fate of the head of El Shifa's hospital, Mohammed Abu Shemaya, who was detained by Israel, that in a statement on Friday that the director of the biggest hospital in the besieged Palestinian territory had been arrested on Wednesday along with 5 other health workers while they were taking part in a United Nations mission to evacuate patients. 3 medical from the Palestine Red Crescent Society and 3 of health were detained, the WHO said. Well, since then, 2 of the 6 have reportedly been released. According to reports, they do not have information about the well-being of the 4 remaining health staff including the director of the Al Shifa Hospital. This is what the statement said. Now let's meet Gab Ellison in the sports studio.
Lakers, American football, NFL Week 12 review and results. Eagles thriller, Belichick in trouble after Patriots lose. The Philadelphia Eagles showed why the toughest team to beat in the NFL as they came from behind yet again to pip the Buffalo 34. Quarterbacks Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen produced two of the outstanding displays of the season in an overtime classic, and it was Hurts who made the decisive contribution as Philadelphia became the first team to win 10 games this season. Patrick Mahomes led the Kansas City Chiefs as they came from behind to beat the Las Vegas Raiders, while Jaguars joined the Super Bowl champions on 8-3 with victory over the Houston Texans. Things went from bad to worse for Bill Belichick as the New England Patriots lost again after a late missed kick against the New York Giants left them as the second worst team in the NFL with their worst record for 30 years. The Eagles have now been behind at halftime in their past 4 games, but have won them all, with the latest victory coming after a fourth quarter burst from Hurts and a big 59-yard kick from Jake Elliott 20 seconds from the end forced overtime. Buffalo dominated for the majority of the game with Allen playing out of his skin. But his one interception proved crucial as Hurts turned it into the second of 2 quick scores that turned the game in their favor. Allen also missed a throw into the end zone that could have won the game, and for all his brilliance, he has a 0-6 record in overtime games. At 6-6, the Bills are up against it, especially as they next visit the Chiefs after a bye. By any means, we will find a way. That's just the mentality we have, said Hurts after a win that encapsulates Philadelphia's season. Not always firing, while making plenty of mistakes, but nearly always finding a way to win. That mentality will be tested next week as they face a showdown with the San Francisco 49ers. Team kneeled behind at the Las Vegas Raiders but came roaring back to a 31-17 victory in the stadium that will host the Super Bowl in February. Mahomes and the side will hope that's a good sign to get back to Vegas for the big game, though the Chiefs will likely have to go through Ravens, who own the AFC's best record at 9-3 after they took care of the Los Angeles Chargers 2010 in the late game. There's no respect for Bill Belichick, whose once mighty Patriots now have the league's second worst record at 2-9 after kicker Chad Ryland missed a simple goal at the finish, handing the New York Giants just their 4th win of the season with a turgid 10-7 victory. Belichick again had to bench starting quarterback Mac Jones during a game after 2 first-half interceptions, and replacement Billy Zappi was not that much better as they got outplayed by undrafted Giants rookie Tommy DeVito, who famously still lives at home. With the season gone and the team in disarray, the Patriots will already be looking at next season, but whether the man who led them to their 6 Super Bowl titles is still the man for the job is the huge question owner Robert Kraft has to answer. What makes it especially difficult is the fact Belichick has so much control of the team. He is also the general manager, so he's in charge of recruitment as well as coaching. But with so much work to do, the Patriots look unlikely at this stage to trust him with either next season. Tennis. Novak Djokovic suffers 2 defeats in same day as Italy beats Serbia in Davis Cup semi-finals. Such is Novak Djokovic's greatness on the tennis court that he is expected to routinely win the majority of his matches. So when the Serbian lost twice on Saturday, it was a surprise of seismic proportions. That he lost one of his matches after having 3 match points was incredulous, given there is no one more adept at closing out a match than the world number 1. He won in both the singles and doubles in Malaga, Spain, as Italy beat Serbia 2-1 to set up a Davis Cup final against Australia on Sunday. Jannik Sinner stunned Djokovic in a 6-2, 2-6, 7-5 victory in their singles match, with the Italian saving 3 match points on his way to victory after a 2-hour 35-minute epic, which helped underdog Italy draw level with Serbia in the semi-final. Sinner secured the only break point he had engineered against Djokovic in the final set to clinch a memorable win. It was the 22-year-old's second victory over Djokovic this month, having beaten the 24-time Grand Slam champion in the group stages of the ATP Finals before losing to him in the final. Later in the day, Djokovic experienced another loss, this time when he and his compatriot Maromir Kekmanovic were defeated 6-3, 6-4 in the doubles to Sinner and Lorenzo Zanego, as Italy reached the final for the first time in 25 years. When Sinner wasn't even born, it was for sure the game changer today. World number 4 Sinner said of saving 3 match points 040 down at deciding set, power routers. I just tried to push in every single, and the 040 game helped the confidence, and also after I broke him. It's all part of tennis. Obviously, playing doubles in the decider of a Davis Cup tie is not easy. There's a lot of pressure. I think we both handled it very well. We are a very complete team, and each one of us is really happy to be here. Djokovic has enjoyed an incredible season, even by his own lofty standards, winning 3 of the year's slams and a record 8 season-ending ATP Finals title. Was the Serb's first singles defeat in the Davis Cup since 2010, when he was forced to retire injured against Argentina's Juan Martín del Potro. For me personally, it's a huge disappointment because I take the responsibility. Obviously, having 3 match points to winning it, said Djokovic, per the Davis Cup website. When you lose for your country, the bitter feeling is even greater. Gab Ellison reporting from Undaunted, ABC Amber News.
All right, thank you so much, Gab Ellison. And with that sports report, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight. But before we go, let's take a look at our major stories.
On Undaunted tonight, we brought to you the standard of living that is fast dropping in Ambazonia due to the ongoing war declared on the sovereign peoples of Ambazonia by dictator Biya. And of course, the trending story we brought to you, Sylvester Madu being the latest victim of La Republique's propaganda, which we had our news director give some in-depth analysis on. Also, Ambazonia poised to sustain the Monday lockdown today.
Well, tonight on Undaunted, we told you that La Republique de Cameroon's Prime Minister Dion Ngute manipulates traditional rulers to endorse Paul Biya for life presidency. And on the African scene, we told you that Ghana has declared a 4 to 6 day visa on arrival for visitors. And on the foreign scene, Russia faces logistical challenges in employing cruise missiles. And that was it for tonight on Undaunted, bringing into the news. On behalf of Star Smart and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for.
We'll leave you with ABC and the TV images. Good night and God bless you.